What's going on, everybody? I'm Gilberto from Credit Guys, the show where we talk all things credit and finance related. Today's video topic is going to be, what is a credit score? So what is a credit score, how to utilize it correctly, how to grow it, how to take care of it, and basically how to manage it so that way all aspects of your financial future will be solid and taken care of. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What is a credit score? Well, if you live in the US, a credit score is basically a tiering scoring system that banks, lenders, credit card companies, mortgage companies, auto loan companies, they all use in order to determine your financial risk. So for example, me as a lender, if I'm looking to extend lines of credit to somebody, right? How am I supposed to know that me giving them my money is gonna be a safe bet, they're gonna pay me back plus interest? Well, that's where your credit score comes in. Your credit score is basically built up of a multitude of factors that shows whether or not how trustworthy you are with money in terms of paying it back on time, paying it back in full, and basically expands into other areas of the financial markets. So what a lot of people don't understand is as soon as they turn 18, they are basically an adult, right, in the US, and they already have somewhat of a credit score built up. You can use simple tools like myfico.com or identityiq.com to create an account, verify yourself with a couple pieces of information, and that will generate your current credit report. So the best thing about having a credit score is that it allows you to afford things on credit, right? And you can use credit for tons of things. You can use it to start and build a business. You can use it to get into your first home. You can use it to get into your first vehicle. You can use it to get to your first credit card, which can help you, right? So credit is a very, very important thing if you're a US citizen, and it's important that you understand how it works and how to utilize it correctly in order to maximize, your life here in the US. So once you know what your credit score is, the next step is figuring out how to build it. Right? How to build your credit score. If you're sitting at a 650 credit score and you want to get into the top tier, which would be 700 plus or 720 plus, well, the easiest way to do that is basically to apply for what's called a secured credit card. So a secured credit card is essentially you go to the bank that you're utilizing and you ask them to apply for a secured credit card. What this is they'll give you a line of credit that you have to pay immediately. So what it is you'll take, let's say you have $100. You're going to put that $100 onto a credit card, right? And that is going to be your secured loan with the bank. Or if your credit score is decent enough, then you can apply for a lower tier credit card. A good lower tier credit card that I recommend to everybody, that if you have at least a 630 plus credit score, no negative items, that you can get approved for, is going to be the Discover It card. It's relatively simple to get approved, and they are awesome for college students or anybody just getting started with credit. So let's say you get approved for your Discover It card and they give you a credit limit of $1,500. Awesome, right? What you want to do with that card is you always want to make sure that you keep the balance below 15%. So in this case, or 10%. So in this case, let's just say $150. So let's say going in, you don't want to spend more than $150 a month. And at the end of the month, which is a billing cycle, which we'll get into that in a second, you pay it off in full. So after utilizing your credit card, you can use it to pay for gas, you can use it to pay for groceries, maybe an electric bill or a water bill if that's possible with a credit card. And you're just utilizing it, right, as you should, responsibly, not using more than 10% of the total revolving balance. You're paying it off in full every month. After that, once you start accruing good payments and on-time payment history, within 6 months, they can actually raise that credit $1,500 balance to $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, and so on and so forth. So every 6 months, they'll reevaluate your account and see if you've had good spending habits, if you've been making your payments on time, if you're starting to become somebody trustworthy that they can see in their eyes, then they'll start giving you higher and higher credit card limits. So a good way to build that up is essentially, like I said, just paying off your credit card on time, every time. The easiest thing for anybody to do is just set up auto pay. And auto pay is where you have the money automatically deducted from your checking account every month for the minimum balance or the full balance, right? It's so easy to forget with day-to-day life of all these other bills and things that are coming out that it's no excuse to make a credit card payment late, in my opinion, right? Because it's such an important factor. And just one late credit card payment can drop your score up to 150 points. So definitely not something you want to play around with. So always, always, always make sure you're using auto pay on all of your credit cards. The next thing is age history, the total age of your credit history. So if you got a credit card in the year 2020 and it's now 2023, then your total credit age history is 3 years. Lenders typically like to see anywhere from 3 to 5 years plus in order to qualify you as a good candidate, right? They want to see 3 to 5 years plus of good payment history, decent credit utilization, and other types of accounts such as auto loan, mortgages, personal loans, stuff like that. So that's another factor that plays into your credit score. The other thing is you want to be checking your credit score regularly. When I say regularly, every 30 days. Why? The credit bureaus re-report every 30 days with fresh information on how well you're upkeeping your credit score. And like I said earlier in the video, good apps to use are going to be called MyFICO and Identity IQ. Those are the ones I recommend to monitor your credit always. Apart from that, what else does your credit score consist of? Well, auto loan history, right? So you want to finance a vehicle. Well, the first thing that the auto loan the auto dealers are going to look at is, has this person made any late payments in the past? Do they have any collections, right? What is a collection? A collection is essentially you've been extended a line of credit and you haven't paid on it in over 120 days. At that point, the original lender of that collection sells off your debt that you didn't pay to a third-party agency, and now they're trying to come after you for that money. So if you're trying to, get a new vehicle, those can be some factors in determining what your interest rate will be, and if you get approved or not. Something very, very important that a lot of people aren't aware of is that your credit score does determine what kind of interest rates you get, right? Whether it be 3% on a car, or 5%, or 6%, or 13% on a vehicle, right? Those percentage points over the course of a month to a year to the whole auto loan financed amount, that can be costly, right? It can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in extra payments simply because you don't have a low credit score. And again, a low credit score basically is built upon the fact that you're not making your payments on time, and you're adding up negative items such as collections. So always keep in mind when building your credit, never miss a payment, and obviously never stop paying on a credit card or something, or any kind of line of credit that's been extended to you, right? It shows responsibility, it shows trust, and it shows that you can be given more and still take care of it. So that's the next thing. Another thing that plays a factor in your credit report is your credit mix. So your credit mix is basically, they want to see how well-rounded of an individual you are when it comes to paying on things and how many different accounts you can have. So for instance, a mortgage looks good, an auto loan as I've spoken about, or a credit card, or a couple of credit cards even. If you have all of these things on your credit report and you're making on-time payments and you're keeping your utilization low, all these things also play a role when determining what your true credit score is. Now, again, the top tier in credit is 720 plus. So if you're or even 700s, mid 700s, but really if you're 720 plus on your MyFICO score in credit, then you are in the top of the top, right? And you can basically get approved for pretty much anything you want and get guaranteed the best rates. So that's a way to look at what your credit score is. The next thing that I want to talk about is trade lines. So a trade line is essentially you piggybacking off of somebody's good credit reporting history and adding that history onto your own personal credit report. How does that work? Let's say that your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or your wife or your husband or whatever, somebody close to you has a credit card that they've had for a very long time. it's got a good credit limit on it, maybe like $10,000, and they don't carry a balance over 10% on it. What they can do is they can call up the credit card company's customer service line and basically add you as an authorized user onto their credit card. What that means is you're gonna get sent a credit card in the mail. Doesn't mean you have to use it or that the person has to give it to you, right? The important part is the history. So you're gonna get added as a user on that person's credit report, and all of the age of that credit history, let's say the credit card is 5 years old, you now have a 5-year-old credit card account on your report, plus all the positive payment history, plus the credit card, right? All those things help to increase your score and add trustworthiness onto your credit reporting file. Closing out this video in conclusion, the things that really help to determine and how to build and keep your credit score up to date is payment history, so making sure your payments are on time, negative items such as collections, making sure that you don't let anything go past the 120-day mark, right? So it doesn't hit as a collection. And then just adding different items into your credit mix. So applying for a nice credit card or a couple credit cards, applying for an auto loan and a mortgage loan or a personal loan. All these things help to build and keep your credit report up to date, which lenders love to see. So I hope you took some value from this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Gilberto from Credit Guys. Until next time.